I owe you guys a video lesson on GLBS. I haven't forgotten about that. But because we have this sale, I don't know if you realize it, but it is ending. And this is our annual Thanksgiving holiday sale. And we've extended it a few times because I'm catching up on email questions. In the next, I would say 24 to 36 hours, I will finally have caught up with all of these questions related to different newsletters, like my long-term newsletter and different DVDs. Um, so it's done, and we're gonna say December 6th at midnight. So I'm filming this on a Sunday. You have roughly, I guess it's like 48 hours from now to take advantage of the sale before it disappears. I highly suggest you do. These guides and these newsletters will change your life if you learn the patterns, if you are better prepared. Today, it is my pleasure to talk about a student. His name is Amon, and I love seeing this when, students can catch fire at different times in their career. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me before. And when this happens, everything seems so easy. And it's kind of crazy because trading is hard. Making $1 million is hard. But there are certain times in life when, I don't know, something just opens up. The heavens open up, you see the light, and it just clicks. And this has been happening in the past week for my student Amon, and he's been with me for a while. But really, I don't know what he did. Maybe you can ask him. This is his Twitter, Kalafi1. He seems to be answering some questions, but please don't overwhelm him. I want him to focus on trading profits. But it's just amazing when it clicks. And there's that moment. And I don't know how to make that moment come sooner in your education. If you did, or if I did, then, that would be amazing. But all I can do is try and give you these lessons and the rules and the patterns and teach you, in real time and teach you based on the past to try and help you better prepare for the future. But when that clicks, this is Amon's tweet to me, $1,800 in a two-day trade on an AMMJ. This was a great little, dip buy. And then he followed it up on November 30th. He said, another great start. Excellent first day morning panic. Same patterns just repeating. And this is when he was shorting HTBX, which is now in the ones. So he didn't even take the meat of the move, but he made his 1,500 and he moved on. And then he had some good money here on Fannie Mae, buying the breakout at 449 and selling and making another 1,500. So between these three trades on AMMJ, HTBX, and FNMA, he's making $5,000. And this is all, this was on December 1st. This was on November 30th. And this was on November 25th. So literally within a week, $5,000. So some people say, oh, how can you make this money in a week? It takes forever. Well, guess what? He's been studying for a while. So even though you see that he's made $5,000 in a week, it's not like this is his first week. He's been studying and he's been learning the patterns. And this is what I want to talk to you about today in today's video lesson, where, give me a break, by the way. I'm just waking up, but I got to get this video out because so many of you are asking questions. How long does it take to really get it, to see the light? Obviously, you want to see the light too. Well, look at this. He's actually answering questions. He says he's not a full-time trader, but that's the goal. It took him 14 months of studying until he became more consistent. So think about that. 14 months. Some of you, you email me, you're like, oh, it's been 3 weeks. I want to quit. I don't get it. You need patience. You need time, and you need perseverance. Tim Grattani, my second millionaire student, but my top student, who's now taken a few thousand, turned it into over 3 million in 4 years. Guess what? He always says it took him 9 months to become consistently profitable. So if Amon is 14 months and perhaps arguably the best trader in the world, percentage-wise, in the past 5 years, it took him 9 months to be consistent. You cannot expect consistency and success in week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 10, even week 20. It takes time. And the sooner, I get your expectations in line with reality, the better off you'll be. And the better off I'll be, so that you won't come away disappointed too soon. You have to see play after play after play, pattern after pattern after pattern. And this is Amon studying consistently for 14 months. It's not just like, oh, okay, Tim, I'll sign up, and 14 months later, okay, I'll get it. You need to put in the time and effort. And then, 6 months, 9 months, a year, 2 years later, that's when things, can get really cool. Let me see this. I have a blog post that I wanted to show you. A key trait that you need to become a millionaire, right? And this is, a blog post that I wrote a little while ago. And this was my student Jeff, and he finally reached the $100,000 mark. And he was thanking me. And Charlie is inspired. And Jeff said lost a ton at first, then something just clicked, averaging a little over 10,000 a month. And then NH, I brought up this student before, where he blew up 5 or 6 times, and I don't condone that. I like cutting losses quickly, but if you trade too aggressively, that's what's going to happen. At least NH stuck with it, and now after 3 years, he made 320,000. So Amon is answering in these. What can you actually do to find these setups? And I agree with Amon's answers. He says in the HTMM DVD, and for those of you who don't know what the HTM DVD is, it's on sale, 70% off. My How to Make Millions DVD, 35 hours. You wonder why I lose my voice and sound like this? I make so many video lessons and so many DVDs. It's all for your benefit. I'm trying to catalog everything. And Amon studied that DVD, and now he's making, literally he spent $300. By the way, this is my best-selling DVD. It all goes to charity in case you're like, oh, you just want to make money. I don't see a dime. I spent nearly a year making How to Make Millions. And this DVD, I don't make a dime on, which is fine. I love it. Now my charity has millions of dollars thanks to you guys. So I love giving back and I love teaching. And Amon studied that DVD, and now he's able to make, $5,000 in a week. And then he also has this other great comment. I'm just so impressed with Amon's mentality and attitude. It's not just about making $5,000 in a week. It's about having the right attitude and sticking with it. So Amon has stuck with it for 14 months. He's hopefully going to continue sticking with it, especially now that he sees the financial rewards. But he says, I would say get a mentor. I recommend Timothy Sykes. He's straightforward and helps you manage your risk. Get his HTMM DVD also. So thank you, Amon. My whole goal is to be the mentor to you guys that I never had. So some of you are like, oh, Tim, stop working so hard. Take some time off, rest, get better. Like, no, it's not about me. I've lived a freaking awesome life over the past 2 decades, this whole journey. But now, as I can sense that many of you guys are on the brink of this seeing the light and recognizing the patterns, shorting the first down day on HTBX, dip buying AMMJ, buying the breakouts on FNMA. These are classic patterns. And I really want you to take advantage of these. So I'm not going to rest. I'm going to continue sounding like shit. I hope it does not distract you and take away from your studying. But I'm obsessive, and I want more millionaire students. I want more students like Amon making $5,000 in a week and seeing the light more than just the money. Even if Amon was trading with a smaller account, even if he made 500 in a week, at least he's taking, just look at these trades, 449 to 484, he's making 35 cents. So like a 7% trade here, pretty good. And he bought it at like 932. And his last sell was at 953, so he's making 7% on his money in 20 minutes. That's a day trade. But here, this is an overnight trade, shorting HTBX. Some of you guys are limited in how many day trades you can do. Learn from Amon. Learn from shorting the first red day on an overextended play. Every single person that I'm talking to, every single person watching this video lesson should know this pattern. You short an overextended play that is fundamentally flawed, and guess what? You short on the first red day, good things tend to happen. The next day, it actually went down to the ones. So some of you had more patience and you were rewarded. And this one, dip buying AMMJ, holding for the bounce and making, this was a nice nearly $2,000 profit. So learn from each other. Don't just learn from the profits. I'll highlight students with losses too. But this case, Amon, good job, man. I'm so proud of you. And the rest of you, I want you to get inspired by Amon and do this too. And it comes down to studying. So this is your final warning to take advantage of this sale, especially my How to Make Millions DVD. Spikeability is so useful. Trading tickers is so useful. And penny stocking Part 2 and framework, these three are required.